Welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. And hey, wait a second. The hell is who? This isn't magic of wrestling. What's going on here? What the hell is going on? I won't. Welcome everyone to the magic of wrestling. No, it's not the magic of wrestling.
Wait, it's not?
It's not the magic of wrestling.
Oh, okay. Maybe
it's
I'm a day
wrestling
behind.
With the paranormal. Let's get it zoomed in to see our beautiful faces. This is my new co-host, the magician. And I am, as always, I am that gingered up, bubbly, paranormal son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it. Introduce yourself.
Of course, you all know me as the magician or backup goalie or dark magician. I've got that many hats these days, I can't even keep up.
Do you think that we should have the screen like this or like this?
Oh, no, probably further back. I don't like it that zoomed in. There we go.
So we should just keep it like this from now on?
Yes, why not?
I'm down with that. We're up for some change. As always, we have our faithful companion.
What's up, George Penny?
George Penny! Hey, it's what's his name again? What do we call him?
Le Disciple.
Le Disciple, yes. He's the dark magician. Plotting internally now.
I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah, so this is we took a week off to I guess to reformat. We got new co-host. Craig has been abducted by aliens. It happens to everyone except for me. I'm not involved though somehow. Austin was also abducted by aliens. So you'll have to
get abducted, am I?
No, you just have to do what I tell you, and you'll be safe.
Okay? Or the Enlightened was going to hack my show again.
The Enlightened one will protect you. Trust me.
We'll see.
Trust me and trust the Enlightened one, and everything's going to be okay.
Okay, let's do this.
So we got the story of the Lugaroo coming today.
The Lugaroo.
Yeah, have you heard of this before? Before we did the research?
I have not. So I mean, I've held on saying it. So this is going to be fun.
George, you're watching. Have you heard of the Lugaroo? Right in the comments. But yeah, this should be a fun episode. We're just getting to know. Like I've never done anything with the magician before, other than being a guest on his show and the Enlightened one kind of taking over. What the hell is in the window?
Nothing.
I'm just seeing it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing.
You're not seeing anything.
Nope, there's nothing there, not at all.
Okay, there's a paranormal something going on in the window. George, do you see that thing in the window, or is it just me? George has not heard of the Lugaroo.
So this is going to be a learning curve for us all.
Yeah, so we're all going to learn about the Lugaroo. But first, let's check out the retro video game of the week. I never have the branding on. All right, here we go. The retro video game of the week. Oh man, what a scary castle. All right, here I am walking through the... Oh, rotten wood. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are these things? Get up the sword. All right, safe. All right, it's already dangerous. Oh, locked in. All right, see what door to choose. Okay, no door. Here we go. Crashing. Okay, through the door just in time. The bricks almost fell on me. Well, this is like a crazy game. Okay, I'm gonna jump on this horse and see what. Yeah, you know, this game really has that 80s cartoon vibe. You had to really push left or right. And at the time, I didn't know that, and I'd waste many quarters on this game. So let's see what we got here. A lot of falling. You know, conveniently there's a boat there. Yay, boulders. So you go to the left, go to the right, go to the left, go to the right. Hey, that's pretty easy. You go, yay, rapids. You want to go straight. Keep going straight. Keep going straight. Hey, that's pretty good. Yay, whirlpools. Now, so you get to go left, right, and then left again. If you remember these things, you can pretty much play the game. And grab onto the chain, swing, you're in your hallway, you're walking the dungeon, you get zapped by the zapper. And there's the rest of the monsters and ghouls coming at you. And it's always getting attacked by something, so there's a lot of spooky things in this. I don't know what a sword is going to do against ghosts. You got another ghoul here. You have the girl. You got to save the girl. Just when you think you're going to save the girl, you get sucked into a hurricane. There's like some pea soup here. There it is. I don't know why he's touching anything. There's nothing good is in any of these rooms. And that's the retro video game of the week.
What the hell have I just watched?
Okay, so have you never seen this game before?
I have not.
Okay, so this game, when I was a kid, it was like, what the hell? This is like a freaking cartoon. This is when PacMan was around and all like the very low graphic video games.
Mm-hmm.
So when this came out, we were like, this is amazing. But the only thing is, you're not controlling the guy like you do now.
Okay.
You can only make him go through the left, the right, and you just had to hit the joystick at the exact right time. So it was very crucial to when those lights flashed, you kind of got over at the right moment.
Really?
So, I lost a lot of quarters to that game, and I think I only made it like past the drawbridge like one time. I was horrible, but I was little too, so I was in grade 3 when that game came out. So we have our next segment with George Le Disciple. So we're waiting for him. George says, I showed it during the video game, that's not the alien that abducted Craig, who is now trying to take Liam now, is he?
There's nothing there.
So we're just waiting for George to come on the show here, because it's Bull or Truth time.
Ooh, interesting.
We're gonna find out if he can find, he's had 2 weeks.
2 weeks practice.
He's had 2 weeks to come up with a story.
I'm super excited for this one.
So how's your week been? Since we've got some time to kill.
Yeah. Hey, well.
There he is.
Oh, he's here.
He's coming in. Blue eyes on the side bell.
Oh, I see what he's done there.
Oh.
He got the reference. Hello
there.
How are you doing? So we've changed the format a bit here since Liam doesn't like being so zoomed in. So we're not all sharing the screen 3 ways anymore.
Oh yeah, I get bottom screen. That's the best screen you need when you're doing 3-player co-op.
And when you're dragging.
Oh, you totally want the bottom screen when you don't want to share the top screen.
No, you get half the screen, man.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
perfect.
All right. So this little section here is called Bowl or Truth with the Disciple. Now, you've had 2 weeks to come up with a story. So the question is,
Yes.
will you be able to fool the magician or Canada Dry?
I mean, will I?
Let's see.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, this comes from a very, very trusted source, and it is a forum source. So it is most reliable. So, um, if you've ever wanted or wondered how you send people to the Shadow Realm, all you got to do is beat them in any children's card game. And so, throughout the whole forum that I had some twists and turns and getting into, it was so hard to get into some of them, but I managed to do it. And so, while I was there were people ending up in the Shadow Realm, being stuck, being sent there from other people by losing at children card games.
Like
And,
what game?
well, you know, the Pokemons, the Yu-Gi-Ohs,
Oh,
the
okay, okay.
Magic.
Not Uno. So not Uno.
No, that one definitely ends friendships for sure. Have
That
you
is
ever
true.
played it? As soon as one thing goes wrong, the whole thing escalates. But you have those, the big names. I can't really think of any more at the moment, but any of them.
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Magic. I don't know
Magic
any
the
other big
Gathering.
ones you can think of.
Magic the Gathering, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Magic. They all deal with cardboard, so from what I found out, if you lose in a certain type of game, you could be sent to the Shadow Realm, or you could just be sent there randomly.
So is
Hell,
that
you
the
could even
same
walk
place
in.
that Superman sends the bad guys?
No, I think that's a little too advanced for our technology here.
Oh, okay.
That's way too far ahead. See, this is more of paranormal magic happening.
Okay,
Ooh.
okay. So, Liam, do you think this is true? Are people being sent to the Shadow Realm using Pokemon and all that stuff?
When he said forums, I was really like going, I think it's a load of bull.
Oh man,
It's a tough one, but
I was really pulling for you, George. I was really pulling for you, but I think I'm gonna call bullcrap on this as well.
Well, ding ding ding. It is bull.
Yes, you know what? This is Canada Dry 4. George, a big old 0.
1-0 to me.
1-0 for the magician. You have to step
Well,
it
we
up.
gotta get the magician a point somehow. So
Maybe next week, Linda Seipel gets a point.
Yes, he will. Let's see. But no.
or maybe I just win it, and I challenge you to, I don't know, a card game battle.
I wouldn't
I
know
don't
if
have
you're.
the cards. I think we play Uno. Could we play Uno if we all had? Could we figure that out? Could we play Uno?
Would that even work on here?
Well, you'd have to figure it out. That I don't think it would. I
No.
don't think you could do it. No, you could definitely play it on like PlayStation. I think they have it on there, but yeah, I don't think it's going to work over StreamYard. Well, thank you for this beautiful story of how Pikachu sends you to the Shadow Realm. All right, we'll
Pika
see you later,
Pika.
George.
See ya.
Cheers, John.
Oh,
I don't know. I just don't know. I try to help him come up with some really good stories. Like, I'm not telling him the stories. I'm just like sending him websites of real and fake stories.
Right.
And
Okay.
I was like, okay, here, choose from this. And then he gets his Pokemon shit.
As soon as he said forums, I'm like, nah, this can't be, because I know some forums can be bull.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get right into our main topic, and that is the horror of the Lugaroo. Now, I've never heard of the Lugaroo before, but I'm just going to get right into the story. So it was in 1963 that JFK designated the land between Barkley and Kentucky Lakes a protected recreation area.
Yep.
And it became a big hiking area. Everyone kind of loved it. But ever since George is saying it was worth it. His Pokemon
Was it though?
Was it though? So between the lakes, there was the natives in the area. They were experiencing this shapeshifter shaman.
Yep.
And he would change into a ferocious beast. And people would complain of lights over top of the area. It's like kind of like UFO sort of lights, and
Yep.
they would talk about sort of cloud figures, like dark figures.
Yep.
And so the Shawnee tribe had started telling the settlers all about the shape-shifting shaman in hopes that they wouldn't be a victim of it.
Yep.
And so the trappers, they didn't care. They just saw it as like, okay, you're just trying to, hog all the beavers and all the pelts and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And the trappers went in there anyways. And they began to be stalked by what we believe is the Lugaroo. They would talk about this wolf-like creature that would chase them, and they would be chased out of there. And reports would go around that there was a wolf-like creature in these forests. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward all the way to 1973. So some male students from Murray State University, they decided that they wanted a weekend away from the campus, and they had their cool little hippie little VW bus, and they set up deep in the forest in a wide open area, and they started partying. They got their beer, they got the fire going, and they just sat around having a good time, telling stories and just having a good time. And eventually, when you're drinking beer, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
It just happens, right? So one guy got up, and you're not gonna pee in front of everyone, so you go a little bit to the forest, and he goes in there, and he starts hearing some noises around him as he's taking a pee, and he hears some snapping of branches, and he hears a bit of a snorting sort of sound in the bushes. And George says, "They got a party where I've invites, yo."
I don't think even I would have gone there.
We don't want a part of this party. I don't want nothing to do with this party. So one of the dudes, he comes back and he's freaking out.
Yep.
And no one believes him. But, yeah, sure, there's something in the woods. And they start laughing at him. But eventually, one by one, they all kind of notice something on the outskirts of the forest kind of watching them, and they can hear some snapping of branches, and it's all kind of encircling them. I don't know if it's just there to freak the shit out of them or what it's doing, what its purpose is. And so they decide that they're just gonna all just hop into the van and get the hell out of there because they're freaked out. And but before they can get away, the Lugaroo attacks the back of their VW bus, and they can see some sort of figure behind it. And as they're driving away, they hear a scraping noise, like something has done some damage to something around the wheel well or something. And they get back to the campus. They're safe and sound now. There's no Lugaroo around. Well, while I'm saying this, I think I should show you what it looks like or what the drawing have rendered on this. This is what they think the Lugaroo looks like.
Jesus Christ.
So it's scary. And they say it's like a wolf-like creature. In this story, one of the students said that they could hear the sniffing sounds as it was going around, breaking the branches, and they claimed it had red eyes in their story. This one clearly, other people said it has black eyes, but we'll get into that a little later. So they get back safe and sound, and they look at the back of their VW bus, and there's claw marks that have ripped right into the metal, right around where the engine is, and right around the wheel well. It's kind of bent, and they're just like, holy shit, like that could have been us, and they're really shook. So we're gonna fast forward all the way to 5 years into the future, and where have we got here? 1978, the July of 1978, and a girl named Jan Thompson is going to stay with her aunt and uncle, who lives around this area. And Jan liked to just go visit in the summers to spend time with her cousins. Her cousins are Joe and Rhonda. Joe is a little bit younger than her. She's 17, and Rhonda is much younger. And so she kind of just like look after Rhonda. And Joe's a guy. He's doing his own thing. Joe liked in the daytime when his parents were gone out to work, Joe liked to go out in the woods on his dirt bike. Like what kid wouldn't like to do that, right? It's the perfect ground.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
The trails. Imagine the trails in this area would be cool for that, right?
Yep.
Because it's all hiking grounds. So Jan Thompson, she was looking after her cousin Rhonda in the day, and Joe had went out on the bike, and he'd been out there for a few hours, and Jan and Rhonda were just kind of hanging out in the yard, and all of a sudden they heard Joe's bike, and it was revving like so hard. It was at a high speed, and right away they knew something was wrong, because when you're coming in, you're just like, but he's just like speeding in at like an incredible pace, and right away they notice that Joe's leg is bleeding.
Yep.
And Joe gets off the bike and he tells how he was just kind of heading home, and they're right around the sawmill, and something jumped out of the bushes. It looked like a dark figure of some sort, and had grabbed his leg, and it tried to pull him off the bike. And as soon as he felt the pain in his leg and the sharp incision of the claws, he accelerated like nobody's business. Like I do it too. Like we all would.
Yeah.
And he just booked it out of there. And, he thought, okay, I'm probably safe now. But he turned around and looked, and this thing was chasing him. and it looked like the Lugaroo. So they're now trying to calm each other down. The little sister, she's freaking out because she sees blood on her big brother, and Jan's trying to calm them both down. And all of a sudden, you hear a roar from the forest, and they're looking over in the direction to see if they can see something. And out of the bushes comes the Lugaroo, and it's looking like this, 7 feet tall, on its hind legs, and it's coming towards them. And as it comes forward, the sensor lights come on and shine a light, exposing it. They make it even brighter, and they find that this distracts the Lugaroo, and they are able to run inside. And they all grab knives and they hide underneath the bed upstairs. But the Lugaroo starts smashing the side of the house and is banging away. And they're just freaked out. Like I would be too. I wouldn't surprise if they all peed themselves, to be honest. Like I wouldn't blame them. And all of a sudden they heard the glass smash. So one of the windows had broken. And so they're thinking this thing's going to climb inside. All of a sudden they hear honk, honk, honk. And the smashing of the house stops. And there's kind of silence for a bit. And then they realize that their aunt and uncle, their parents are home. And the parents are expecting them to kind of help with groceries and stuff like that. And then suddenly they see the look of terror on all the kids' faces. And it's just like, wow. Do you got any more info on this story? I'll make the tag to you.
Thank you very much. Bang. So, obviously, we just spoke about the Volkswagen situation, but we're going to fast forward to the 1980s, where, let me just make sure I get my information right. Police have said to have found a horribly mutilated bodies on visiting a family lying in their blood-soaked motorhome. Now, this is the most controversial one I could find because there's a lot of rumours that this was covered up by the authorities, which makes me ask the question, why? Why was something like this so serious? I mean, they all had apparently distinctive massive claw marks. Why was it covered up by the authorities? It just doesn't make sense.
So you're saying this was covered up?
Yes, there's a lot of reports with this saying it was covered up by the authorities and nobody knows why. So, question is why? That's an interesting one for me, that.
So what is the story on this?
There's not really much, unfortunately. I mean, that's all I have on it. I mean, it's one of the two stories. Obviously, we talked about the Volkswagen one. Then there's obviously, it was in the 1980s. Police have said to have found bodies. And then, the half-eaten body of the family's younger daughter lodged in a tree. That's the only information.
The half-eaten dog?
Daughter, sorry.
The daughter was eaten?
Yes. The half-eaten body of the family's young daughter lodged in the nearby tree.
So, we don't know how the daughter was eaten. She just showed up in the tree half-eaten.
Well, it's funny you say that because let's fast forward to 2 years ago from today, where an actual person came forward and actually spoke about the experience like this. So obviously he got offered to go to obviously like a camping trip with these obviously family. Obviously they're just shooting, standard shooting. One of them went out to Call of Nature, as they call it sometimes, and all of a sudden there's this big creature, which obviously we've seen it quite a while, showed up. He's gone to try and obviously help, which I think anybody would try. And when it got to a point where he knew he couldn't actually do anything, he's actually hid under the mobile cabin. And then basically his exact words were, he thinks there was more than one. So there possibly could be more than one Lugaroo.
Wow. So let's see what George has to say. If there's a whereabouts where the Lugar has shown up, or at the place of the origins of where this dude is from. Well, this is between the lakes of Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lake, in that area of the United States. So there's a cover up by the government
Yeah.
from that one case.
That actual case alone.
So all these other things we can kind of freely, but
yeah, exactly. So if there's several
one
cases
where someone died, they're kind of covering that up.
Well, they're not really dead. It's like, I think the word described was mutilated. So why is...
Well, the Lugaru is also known for mutilating cattle in the area with the farmers, and so like to actually like tried to get the boy in our story of the motorbike, Joe.
Yeah.
But we don't know how they got the daughter.
No.
In a different story.
Right. So, but yeah, the thing what bugs me with this little story in particular is why does it get covered up? I mean, there's as many reports as we noticed, but why this one specifically gets covered up by the government, nobody knows. So that's a mystery in itself.
This also kind of goes to the previous episode that we've done, is that people go missing in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this?
I have, but only briefly.
Check it out, Missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
And just people, they're all of a sudden they're hiking in the forest, and their buddy just he goes to take a leak, and all of a sudden he's gone, and they never see him again. And this is all over the forests of America, and it's kind of like that where with this, it's kind of the same sort of feel, right?
Yep, absolutely. And of course, to this very single day, there's constant reports saying like rustling in the woods. Obviously, feel like they're being watched. I mean, as people describe the actual beast himself, resemble a gigantic half man, half wolf, which is kind of scary when you think about it.
Well, they also talk about the shaman, right? The shaman, he's a shapeshifter. So I don't know if he's an actual shaman, but he's just appearing like that to the natives, right? Because he's a shapeshifter, he's just appearing to how he wants to, right? So he's not technically a shaman. He's just this entity that can be what he wants. Like, who's to say that the Sasquatch aren't shapeshifters as well, and they just take that form?
Exactly. It's a really good little story. I mean, there's not really much on the actual story, as I mentioned earlier. There's only like little sections, so but that's probably like a more of a mystery thing. But as we know, I mean, even now, hunters shy away from this area, so it's kind of built like its own reputation up a little bit. So there's definitely got to be something there for people to stay away. Countless
so are there
reports.
People that hunt this thing to try to get info on it?
I imagine so, because there's people out there who likes this type of stuff. So, but
I wouldn't hunt this thing.
I mean, what did we say? It was 7 feet tall. I don't want to chase that.
On its hind feet with teeth? Come on. Grabs the boy's leg, bloodied up. I mean, on a bike. You know how fast you got to be able to grab someone on the bike? A motorbike?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And obviously, I mean, mutilated a whole family.
Wait, so you're saying it wasn't just the daughter, it was other people in the family?
Yes, it was the entire family. Yeah, sorry, it was the entire actual family. The only guy who survived was the one under the actual motorhome, but the daughter was found half-eaten in a tree.
So how many in this family?
Let me just double check for you. Let's make sure I get this right. It doesn't say, actually. That's weird. It only just says family. So there could be 2, could be 3, who knows?
So we got like other creatures that are like the kind of Tasmanian devil. We have, the Sasquatch. We've also had another. We've talked about the Wolfman before in another episode, but this kind of feels different.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
this creature is kind of, like, is it coming from another portal, or is it
Could be.
is it you know it's a strange one.
I mean, the fact that there's obviously countless reports now, obviously stuff. There's definitely going to be something there. I mean, I can't see stuff like this being made up, to be honest.
Oh, without a doubt, I believe that the Lugaroo is a real thing. And I did a little bit of research just before, and there's reports that this is in Canada as well.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes, in the Quebec, Montreal area, in the forests there. There's reports that the Lugaroo is also in Upper Canada of French Quebec.
So do we think there's Lugaroos around the world?
Say is a French speaking Lugaroo. Please give me a cigarette. I will not bite your face off. That's a very French France sort of accent, not really a French Canadian accent.
So do we think there's more Lugaroos around the world? Do we just think it's not in this area?
So George Penny says, "Watch yourself, Canada Dry." I think we would have a bit of a. We don't really have a problem here because the Sasquatches, they got the area of the West Coast. That's their area. You're not gonna have a little Lugaroo coming in because there'd be like this turf war between the Sasquatch and the Lugaroo. My money is on the Sasquatch kicking the Lugaroo's ass. What do you think? Who would win in a fight, a Sasquatch or a Lugaroo?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would have to say this. Is it Sasquatch? I don't know if I've said that right.
Well, you can also say Bigfoot, right? Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah, Bigfoot, obviously. But
what do you think?
Interesting fight.
Who would win in a fight? Lugaroo or Bigfoot slash Sasquatch? Sasquatch. It's hard to say.
I would say, see, the fact that it's really powerful. I mean, it's 7 foot. I think this Lugaroo would obviously put up a good fight, but
well, it seems like the claws on it. George Sandy says, "Book it, somebody." Yeah, like for pure strength, I'm going with the Sasquatch. Because they can whip trees down and just like swing it base, but for speed and kind of Wolverine claws, I think that the Lugaroo has that advantage, right?
But, it's like the old thing, isn't it? Power versus speed.
Yeah. So as long as you can not get caught by the Sasquatch, you're going to have a chance of just kind of dipping in and getting those punches in. Yeah, do you have any other information on this?
I do not. Unfortunately, this is only a little bit of information on this. There's no thing really anywhere else. It's still a place where people can go and visit. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody actually does because obviously the reputation, but yeah, there's not really much information on this I've been able to find. How about you?
Just between I learned about the Canadian thing that they're here in Canada. Yeah, like it's definitely like many things. There's got to ask about the UFO lights. What's with that? And then like the cow mutilations. Like, what's the tie-in?
Is it alien? Who knows? As you mentioned, is it from a different dimension?
Well, because like you usually, you tie cow mutilations to aliens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, is this thing actually from aliens? Is it from another planet? Who knows?
Well, Craig and I, before he got abducted, God bless his soul.
Maybe that's the one.
Well, we don't know he's alive. He might come back one day. So we were talking that possibly aliens are not from outer space.
Really? Okay, do tell.
That they are from another dimension. And they're not coming from space. They're coming through a portal.
Okay.
So when you see those UFOs and they're taking off and just disappearing, they're not taking off into space. They're going through a portal and just disappearing.
That's an interesting theory. I mean, it is plausible. I mean, I think the thing is with this world, we never know what actually is outside the world. Do we think there's more? I think there is.
Well, I talked about this with my previous co-host, that I believe that demons and aliens are the same thing.
Right, I'm puzzled with this one.
Okay, so if you want to disprove God and you're a demon, what better way than to make up an alien and do the things that aliens do?
It's just fried my
Okay,
brain.
check this out. So before Roswell, New Mexico,
Okay.
no one had experienced what do you call those, UFO abductions,
Okay.
alien abductions. What people experienced before that was demonic abductions. So they continued on under a new guise. Do you hear what I'm saying? Are you following me here?
Yes, I own.
So it's a bit of different take, but you know, if you want to pull the wool over society's eyes, you tell everyone God's not real. There's aliens. You know, like you watch the show Ancient Aliens, and they talk about how aliens, birth society, and so like that takes God out of the equation, right?
Yep.
So
I
just gave you my whole quick theory that I've discussed on the show in previous times. But
this could be our next episode.
So George says, really, demons and aliens, the same thing, not judging here, unless you're talking about how vampires and familiars work into the similarities to demons and aliens being the same. It's hard to get what someone's saying over text sometimes. But yeah, like if you talk about aliens, here's another weird thing is that why are you able to use, those ghost detectors?
EVPs?
Yes. They determine spiritual sort of energy.
Yes. There's obviously loads of different equipment. There's your EVP, which records your actual voice recordings.
EVP, there's like the energy meter. Is that the same thing?
EMF detector.
Yes, I think. And when there's an alien abduction or some sort of alien activity, the EMF detector goes nuts.
Yeah.
Like it's a ghost or it's a... So what's up with that? I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think there's, like you just mentioned there, there's so much outside the world that even we as humans will probably never understand because it's just constantly evolving in a way, I'd say.
George, I feel aliens are more down to earth or reliable to us as people. And demons are more mythical, or we need to know more about them. Demons, why don't you just come on our show and explain yourselves?
Yeah, get a demon on Wrestling with the Paranormal.
Like, we have, if we only get one viewer, this is going to suck. We got a fucking demon on the show. Oh, come on. What do we got to do to get viewers, man? Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up the episode. So we're going to move on to our next segment. And this is an exciting segment. It's your first time.
Is it? Yes.
This is your first time with this segment. This is the knowledge is power moment.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just play the intro here. What the hell is the intro? All right, so here is Knowledge is Power. Record that. You doing it because it's your debut episode. So tell me, magician.
Yes.
What is the moral of the story? What is the knowledge of power moment for you on the show?
Ooh, I'm on the spot here. I'm not prepared for this. Not every day the magician is actually speechless here, but I do not know. You've broke me.
Come on. Do you want me to go first, and you could kind of come up with something?
Yes, go ahead. I think this is put me on the spot a little bit here.
Okay, you weren't ready for the knowledge is power moment, so you
I
can
was
think
not,
while
sorry.
I tell you mine. Well, children, come close. So if your parents are away and you decide that you want to go for a dirt bike ride, make sure you bring along your bazooka, because no Lugaroo can survive a bazooka shot to the nuts. I promise you, your Lugaroo problems will be solved with one shot of the Wrestling with the Paranormal bazooka made by Bazooka Joe.
Oh dear, that's brilliant. Oh dear, I've actually got one, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Lugaroos love camping.
So Lugaroos love camping, so don't go camping. Is that your?
Yeah, I think Lugaroos love camping, so watch where you go, because you never know, he may be watching.
All right, I think that's a beautiful sentiment, and we'll just get. What the hell is that?
That is brilliant.
All right, everyone. I'm used to zooming in, but we're staying like this. So we get our music playing. So, as always, you can go to fnwrestling.com and you can see all our stories. Click on the stories. Liam does them. Sorry, I just outed you as Liam. Sorry about that.
That's absolutely fine.
So check out the stories, all the wrestling stories. You can go to Pro Wrestling Tees /F Wrestling and pick up one of our shirts. This is a new one. Is Johnny Effin Canuck. Instead of a hockey stick, he's got a steel chair. He's coming to the ring with a steel chair. Are you gonna mess with Johnny Effin Canuck? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
And you can pick up all sorts of shit. You can pick up the Magician shirt. You can pick up the Disciple shirt. I'm going to have to clean house and get rid of a lot of shirts that are in there. If they've only sold one, I'm not going to keep it. Sorry about that if you're watching and your shirt's getting rid of. Too bad. Anyways, thank you all for watching. And we will get the kinks out next week. And what do I gotta do now? I gotta hit the what is it? There we go. Until next week, keep on wrestling with the paranormal. Woo! So, Liam.
Yes.
This is kind of the cut scene at the end of the movie.
Oh, right. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this either.
Okay, so what I need you to say is help control the pet population of your pet.
How? Say what?
Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Help control the pet. Fucking hell! I can't speak. Help control the pet. Jesus Christ!
You can do it.
Help control the pet population.
Have your pet
Yeah.
spayed or neutered. And
Have
be
your-
kind and rewind.
Be kind and rewind.